Alright, fellas, I finally escaped from my basement for the week and decided to make another video. And while I've been having fun making Magic the Gathering videos, I'm kind of bored, so I figured I'd try something else. And I figured what better thing to do than talk about a game that actually requires brain power, something I have been lacking in for the last few years, and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for a sec. So I covered Yu-Gi-Oh in like my first video, but I didn't really get into too much detail about like what it's actually kind of like. And on a basic level, it's actually not too hard. Like it's kind of similar to Magic in that you need to make a deck that's, around 60 cards because I'm just like trying to compare it to modern. You don't really have lands, but instead you will have more so like rules for like the types of cards you can play in terms of like level of the card and what you can play per turn. And like you have extra decks which would be like your sideboard, and then side decks would be like sort of outside the game type stuff. So everything sounds pretty straightforward from that point of view, right? Until you get the questing beast and higher level of text that goes into these cards. Like I've played I've played cards like Breach the Multiverse, which is like it's like a short story worth of text. And it's got nothing on this. Like we have a whole paragraph in this middle card. Like all these are just straight up paragraphs. And then you also have these extra little mini short stories up here, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like it's got people talking like this, like which I don't even know what this panel is from, but honestly, as I just came across earlier today, and it just reminded me of like an average Yu-Gi-Oh game turn one, and that makes sense given that the combo lines for it are essentially like this. What even is this? I don't even know what this is. So it makes it all the more funny when you just turn around and counter it with something like Ash Blossom, which I don't even know if that's how it works properly. Again, I've not really played this game very much. I'm sort of just getting into it. But from what I've heard, Ash Blossom is like kind of like a counter spell. Kinda. But this is, I imagine it must feel like this after someone explains like a 5 minute combo to you and you just turn around and go, uh oh, Ash Blossom. But there are more simple things to run for this. But, you know, it can be deceiving sometimes because you'll have cards like this where it's like not a lot of text, right? And then you get another one which is like not a lot of text, right? And then you realize, uh-oh, you have this big ass card which came from two little cards, which you'd think that shouldn't be possible, right? How does that work? Like this is it's like almost a high tier level of Magic the Gathering type play, and yet this is what we consider casual in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like that's absolutely brutal. And anything beyond that, it just looks like a Terraria crafting table for Endgame. It's absolutely ridiculous. I tried doing more research for this video, like not like I do much research at all for these, but I tried to like understand it a little bit more before I made a video on it, like just to make fun of it a little more. And I just couldn't understand it at face value. I had to give up at some point because this was all I saw, and I still haven't gotten the Ankh Shield yet. It makes me sad, but that goes into my next point where you actually need a brain to play Yu-Gi-Oh, which is sort of where we fall off the track, especially if you play like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or any other TCG, because Pokemon and Magic are games that don't necessarily require brains. You see, Magic requires money, lots of money, because for some reason, all the good cards are over $100 or around there, especially if they're old. God forbid you need a card that like was only printed once and now it's worth $500. Cough, Sliver Queen. And then if you play Pokemon, you're just not going to be able to understand the game. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. I respect the simplicity of the game though. I do actually want to get into I want to get into all of them, but like I want to get into Pokemon, but like I'm sorry, you're not going to going from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh it's literally the same as going from checkers to chess. It's just not going to be a pleasant experience overall. which is I'm kind of having the same issue because I'm going from Magic to Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's still brutal. But either way, I'm still getting into it because I like Blue Eyes White Dragon. They're cool. Probably making a Blue Eyes deck. I don't know if they're good, but we're gonna try it anyway. Why not? And yeah, that's the video. I couldn't really think of anything else for it. I just figured why not. Probably gonna try to make a little bit more Yu-Gi-Oh content before I move to anything else. Because I don't know, I need a little bit of a break from Magic. Or I just might make videos on specific deck lists. I don't know yet. Either way, that's it.